welcome back to another episode of Cross Street Classics. Back here with a new video on a car that we've had before. This is our friend Pete's 67 Mustang fastback. We've done a bunch of work with this car. We painted this car back in, I think, 2019. We did this car and just did not a total restoration, but a pretty thorough restoration on it. And then we had it back here a couple years ago. We did a suspension upgrade. We did some power steering on it. And it's back here today because he wanted to do a couple little odds and ends to it. He got invited to the World of Wheels show in Cleveland at the end of March. So a couple little tidbits he wanted to do to the car. But the big thing we're going to be doing is under the hood, we're going to be upgrading the cooling system. This has a stock 2-core radiator in it, and we added air to this car when we did it, but never upgraded the radiator. So we're going to upgrade here to a Coldcase super cooling 2-core radiator, aluminum. And I like this radiator because it didn't have the fabricated tanks on it. They're stamped to look like original. We're going to leave it aluminum just to give it a little bit of contrast under the hood. So we got this from Summit Racing. Just about 400 bucks, I think, for it. It's a direct fit, total aluminum, and we're going to get it in here and give him a little bit better cooling. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to drain the water out and get this out of here. We'll get the shroud removed and unhook our hoses, and we're going to also flush this out too. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we got our radiator out. I want to thank Blake for his assistance there with that. So we got the old one out and it's over here. Blake's fixing the one of our sawhorses come apart. So this is the old radiator come out of the car, and we had a shroud on it, so we're going to take the new one out of the box and line these up, make sure our shroud holes line up and our mounting holes are all the same. Just look at it here. And I want to mention too, we bought an overflow kit for this from CJ Pony. Nice polished aluminum overflow tank. So we're going to put that in here too on the driver's side. I looked at it here, it's gonna work okay. So we're gonna get that on also, get that fitted, and go from there. So let's get this unboxed. All right, guys. So Blake got our new radiator unpacked here, and I like the looks that has with this top tank. It gives a factory look, you know, with the stampings and stuff here. Not 100% factory, but I think it looks definitely a lot better than the fabbed up square tanks. This has more of a stock look to it, and you can see there's a good bit more thickness to it. than the other one. Probably a good, I'd say probably a good inch. I just hope we don't have any issues with it. We're gonna fit it up here and see how it looks. Pull the top of that back a little bit. There we go. Okay, square that up now. Watch that hose on that thing here. So we're going to have to take and make a little slice here in this.
Oh, nice.
Not really, but... Alright guys, so we got this thing sitting in here. Because of the added thickness, it's giving us a little trouble here with the where the shroud is with the compressor. So we don't want to lose the shroud. So what we're going to do here, we're going to take and slice a little bit out of this just to give it some clearance. Not exactly the ideal thing to do, but we still want to keep our shroud in place for maximum cooling efficiency. But all in all, I think it looks okay. It gives a nice look. Nice contrast with the aluminum and the black. So I'm going to get this shroud marked out. We're going to pull the radiator back out and pull the shroud out and do some cutting and get it back fitted here. Alright guys, so we got our shroud marked here. I'm going to put some tape on this. We're going to take probably a good 5/8 of an inch out of that area. And Blake's going to take that thermostat housing off and the hose, and we're going to just do a quick flush here while we got all apart. We got the shroud all notched real nice like here. So we're going to put it in place, and then we're going to bring Blake over again here, and he's going to watch we don't put any holes in the radiator. We're going to set this in and get it mounted up. Alright guys, so after having this radiator in and out probably a dozen times, we had to do some massaging to the mounting holes, and ended up finding out that we have to notch the bottom of the shroud here too. It was hitting the crank pulley. So this is definitely not a drop-in installation. You know, all 4 holes needed egged out a little bit. 2 reasons. The bottom holes didn't even come close. In fact, we didn't egg out the bottom holes. We actually had to drill new holes for the bottom mounts. We had to elongate the upper holes to allow the radiator to come up a little bit, because the bottom tank was hitting the those bottom gussets there where the strut rods bolt to, and we didn't want that to hit and eventually vibrate and cause a leak in the system. So you know, it's not a drop-in, but you know, definitely not horrible either. But just want those to be aware, if they are buying one of these, you know, you're going to spend some time on it. You know, one thing too, we have, you know, the aftermarket air conditioning system on it there too. And I would like to mention too that this car has never been hit, so it wasn't like there's something tweaked under it. It's just doesn't fit as good as it should. But we can overcome. You know, nothing a drill bit and a die grinder can't handle. But you can see we got it mocked up here. Don't mind the zip tie, that's holding the condenser up. So I have the top bolts in, and you can see it's free floating there. It's not gonna bottom out on the chassis here, so that's good. And while we're doing this, I started to mock up the overflow tank we got here. Got this real nice overflow tank from CJ Pony. Gonna mount it right here. Want to utilize the top radiator flange bolt, and we're gonna drill another one on the bottom there. That'll mount right there, real nice. So I'm gonna do all that while we're at it, and we're gonna get this other piece of this cut out here for this shroud, and hopefully this will be the last time it goes back together. Okay guys, so after even more filling with this radiator, we got it in, got it all filled up, started the car, and the fan was hitting the shroud. So I had to shut it back off and took a little bit more out of the bottom. Didn't have fan clearance issues when I put it together. Thought we would have been fine, but we weren't. So took a little bit out of the bottom and brought the whole shroud up as high as I could, because it was just touching up here. Started it back up and no issues, so that's good. You know, rev the engine up a few times, you know, torque the engine, make sure it wasn't twisting and going to hit. I think in retrospect, probably the best thing to do with this would have been to get the fan and shroud kit with this radiator. Comes with an electric fan kit, you know, that you can put on here. You know, there's still a good bit of clearance between the fan and the radiator, but I think that would have definitely eased the installation on this. I didn't think that it would be that big of an issue, but with this radiator being a good inch thicker than the stock, and the fact that this tank doesn't fit tight up in here like the other one did, it kind of moved everything back a good bit. Hoses were fine though, they were good, no issues with both hoses. I did have to drill the holes out a little bit on the top to bring the radiator up, because the bottom tank was touching, and did have to drill new holes on the bottom to mount because they didn't line up. And the shroud, the holes for the shroud lined up just fine. So we're going to call that done, guys. I do need to get some more coolant, top this off. We have no leaks so far, so that's always a plus. So guys, this was the Coldcase 20-inch radiator. This is a stock radiator for the small blocks. The big blocks had, I think, the 24-inch. So that's it, guys. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate any questions or comments you may have. If you need a part number or something too, I can give that. So as always, we'll catch you next time. Thanks again.